good step forward today.
How are the quarterbacks looking at this point? You've had a couple weeks.
Good. Yeah, they're both, it's really the two guys that are getting the vast majority of the reps, Troy and Tyler. And they're battling right now. It's very close. Troy probably still has the edge, but it's good competition.
What about from
Why is Troy kind of pulling ahead?
A little better completion percentage, a little better decision making so far. But Tyler's strength really doesn't show up out here. His ability to create a play when there's not one there to be made. And when the quarterbacks aren't live, it's really tough to get a full feel for the impact that he can have on the game.
What about from a running back standpoint? Anybody sticking out to you or
Jordan
sleeper?
Howard's doing a good job. We're real thin at running back this spring. Tight end and running back are two places that we have really hurt. But the good news is help is on the way. In the fall, we should be just fine. But right now, we're a little lean at those two spots.
That was something that you guys dealt with during the season last year. Is there anything you're trying to do to prevent that from happening, like ice baths, anything?
Well, we just had a rash of bad luck last season with that. Went through 4 or 5 backs. Same thing at the center position, but it was 3 or 4 centers. But we just try to be smart, and we will get Zach Moss back hopefully early next week, which will help our cause.
As far as defensive line, you also got a lot of experience out there.
Yeah, we do. Kylie's not practicing, Lowell's not practicing, Phillips not practicing. So there's a lot of guys that up front are. That's the bad news. The good news is they're all scheduled and ready for fall.
You pointed to Bradley and I, at least in our release that we got as one of the standouts last week. What's he doing that's a little different?
He's just getting better and better every day. He's up to 260 pounds. We got him to about 220 when he came as a freshman last year. He's put on good weight. He's a pass rusher. He's got a great feel for pass rush. He's physical, and he's got a great motor.
How's Zach Moss coming along with his injury?
Coming along. We should, like I said, hopefully Tuesday of next week would be probably best case scenario.
How the quarterbacks adjusting to Troy's offense?
Seemingly very well. It's they're making very few mistakes, knowing where to go with the ball, and they've really embraced it. They both seem to have a definite like for what's going on offensively.
Because it's so important that position, would you ever consider having them go live?
We'll probably do that once or twice this spring. Yeah, once or twice, get a real live look at them and see what they can do. And that, like I said, that really is to Tyler's benefit. That's his game. May or may not this Friday. It could be this Friday or maybe the next Saturday.
Is Cooper Bateman getting any more, edging in any more with those two?
About the same as it was early on. He's getting his few reps and trying to make the most of them. And it's tough to get rhythm when you don't get many reps, but he's trying to make his reps count.
How's the offensive line coming together? The puzzle pieces finally fitting?
First group looks pretty solid, but beyond that, it's a big question mark. We got a lot of development that's got to take place after the first group. The first group's functioning pretty well as a unit.
You have Tyrone Smith and Caleb Rep both switching to defense from offense. What's their progress?
Very good. Tyrone's battling for a starting corner job. Caleb is only going to be a sophomore this year. As he continues to put on weight and become more physical, I believe he's going to succeed at that position.
As far as playing time, how important is spring evaluation?
Very important. Very important. It gives us a great idea of what the blueprint's going to look like going into the fall as far as the depth chart. Now, there's a lot of guys in this recruiting class that we think are going to help, and so there's going to be every opportunity for those guys this fall to show what they can do. But as much as anything else, you can really find out the guys that you can count on, and maybe guys that aren't going to be ready yet.
I mean, I know a few years back when Eric Rowe came, it seemed like the day he stepped on campus, he was in the depth chart. Would that be any possibility going forward?
Well, same with Corian Ballard. The day he stepped on campus, he was running with the ones and at safety, and so it was very similar. Now he's a JC guy, which is a little bit different, but there could be some freshmen that step right in. I don't want to single anybody out, but we've got a lot of talented freshmen that we signed in this class that aren't here yet that are going to have an impact.
So how do you determine that, though?
Fall camp. You can tell pretty quickly as a coach what kind of ceiling the kid has, and his aptitude for learning. I mean, those things that are the telltale signs that really give you an idea of whether the kid's ready or not.
So many veterans out with the scrimmage Saturday or Friday. What are you looking for? Is it
just more of the same, taking a step forward every practice, not regressing, a little cleaner, a little better execution offensively each practice, and just finding those guys that can play ball, tackle, block, catch, all the things, all the basic things.
Any positions that are kind of key for this scrimmage?
Every position's key. Yeah, all positions, all 22 will be key for this scrimmage.
Any positions not key?
No unkey positions. Yeah, they're all key. No unkey positions. All right.
Any